Gentlemen, I was 33 years old. I'd been out of MARSOC for less than 2 years. I walked past the mirror in my own house, and I did not recognize the man looking back at me. I'd been a Marine Raider. I'd carried 80 pounds of kit, probably more, 130 degrees heat in Afghanistan. And I was looking at a guy with a big, bushy, non-kept beard. Some of you guys might remember. Dead eyes and a stomach hanging over my belt. I was 240. I went from 240 pounds at 10% body fat and to 240 at 30% body fat. That was the moment. That was the exact second, the first time everything I'd been carrying in my head, in my chest, finally showed up where I could see it. My body became the receipt for what I had been doing to myself in private. And if you've ever had one of those moments, then this video is for you. And if you have not had it yet, my hope is that I can save you a couple years of grief. The identity I had built in the military was not a foundation. It was just scaffolding. A foundation is the thing underneath you that holds the rest of you up. Scaffolding is the thing you stand on while you build something. When the building is done, the scaffolding comes down. And I had spent 12 years inside of a structure that gave me everything. It gave me a mission. It gave me a uniform. It gave me brothers. It gave me schedule. It gave me feedback. Every single day, whether I was good enough, it gave me a place to put my anger. It gave me a reason to wake up at 05 with my hair on fire. And then November in 2012, that scaffolding came down. I walked out of the Marine Special Operations Headquarters, aka the old Death Star, on those stupid K-bar door handles, the MARSOC memorial out front of the names of the men that we have lost over a long period of time. I handed in my paperwork. 12 years of service ended in freaking 6 minutes of silence. Nobody even knew I was there. That door slammed behind me. And I remember so distinctly going, holy shit. I couldn't get back in if I wanted to. I turned in my badge, my security, and I remember driving off with DD-214 in hand, watching the gate as I was leaving in the rearview mirror. Wow. So that night I went home. It was supposed to be a night of celebration, and we had drinks ready in the fridge. We were ready. Wife and kids were waiting. It was supposed to be a night of celebration of a long, hard 12 years of work and deployments. And instead, I got into a massive fight with my ex-wife. Massive one. Kids went to bed. Wife went into the bedroom. And I sat alone on the couch, poured myself a glass of whiskey, and said cheers to myself. Out loud. Sarcastically, of course. No one called to congratulate me. And I want you to sit with that for a second. We're talking 12 years of combat deployments. Selection, schools, the bond that I had built with people. And that day ended. My phone did not ring. And that was, man, words really can't explain what that feeling is like. Very few understand what I'm saying. But man, it was like it hit me with like a ton of bricks. That's when the scaffolding came down. I just did not know what to call it yet. I told myself I was adjusting, just transitioning. I had a plan. I was going to get a job, and I was going to be super successful, and I was going to be fine. And the job stuff, it worked itself out. But here's what most men get wrong about the identity loss. They think it looks like a guy in a robe at 2 p.m. with the curtains drawn. It does not. In a high performer, it looks like this. You're still functioning. You're still answering emails. You're still showing up for dinner. You still put your kids to bed. You're still hitting the gym sometimes. But the man inside is gone. The lights are on, but nobody's home. You're running on muscle memory and an instinct to perform. And I want to be specific about what mine looked like, because if I'm vague, you let yourself off the hook. I would sit on my couch with my laptop open. I would tell my wife I was working. I would do other things. I would tell myself I was working. I wasn't working. I was playing a stupid app on a phone, and I would just spend hours just checked out. Marine Raider sitting on the couch playing stupid video games. My wife would ask for me to help with the kids. I would say, yeah, in a minute, and I never got up. Not because I was busy, because I could not summon the will to walk into the kitchen and be a father. Apathy is not laziness. Apathy is a man whose system has stopped sending him signals. The thing that used to make me move was gone. and I was hiding inside of a phone or hiding inside of a laptop in a distraction. I found out months later that my wife had set my girls down, set my kids down, and explained what post-traumatic stress was to them. Told them their dad was going through something from his time in the military and to be patient with me. At the time, I did not know that conversation had happened. And I don't really know how I would have handled that if I did. At the time, I truly did not believe in post-traumatic stress. I thought it was for the weak. I thought guys claimed it for a check. It sucks that I said this, but I remember saying this, that if a guy hurt himself or did something because of post-traumatic stress, well, he just wasn't cut out for that job. And while I was building my own opinion in my own head, my wife was teaching my children how to walk around the wreckage of myself. When I finally found out, it broke me. Not because she did something wrong, because she did something I should have done. She was protecting our kids from me. And I did not even know I was the thing she was protecting them from. And the whole time, the body was writing it all down. There's a great book called The Body Keeps the Score. Highly recommend you read it. The weight, the face in the mirror, the blood panel that came back at a freaking 91 of total T, testosterone, the level of like a dying 70-something-year-old man, the metaphysical, the emotional, the spiritual stuff. We can argue our way out of around all of it. We cannot argue with the scale. We cannot argue with the mirror. We cannot argue with a number on a piece of paper. And that is why the mirror is the moment. The body is the only thing a hard-headed man like me would actually believe. So for a hard, 2 to 3 years, I tried to fix what I thought the problem was. And I thought the problem was money, so I went and made some money, and I did. I got a great job and made a bunch of money. The problem did not go away. I thought the problem was a mission, so I started a business. I started two, got busy, got tired. The problem did not go away. I thought the problem was the body, so I worked out, got back in shape some. The problem moved, it did not leave. Thought the problem was my marriage, so I tried to fix that, being a better provider, being more present, trying harder. The problem just got worse. What was actually missing was the thing that I had never been taught to build, because it was always provided for me. An identity that was not assigned to me by an institution. I want you guys to pay attention here. A purpose that did not come from a mission brief. A brotherhood that I had to construct on purpose instead of the one that I was handed to me on a roster. See, every man in this country has been part of a brotherhood at some point, a team, a unit, a platoon, a shift, a locker room. We never had to build one. We walked into one. And when we walked out, we expected it to follow us. It does not. Every man who has worn a uniform has had an identity given to him. A Marine, a Raider, a cop, a firefighter, somebody in the medical field. We've never had to construct one for ourselves. We put it on like a uniform, and when the uniform comes off, we don't know what's underneath. So here I am at 33 years old with everything on paper, looking at a man in the mirror I did not recognize, because there was no man underneath the uniform. I had not built him. A buddy of mine gave me a really good analogy, former teammate. He had gotten out sometime before me, so he'd kind of already gone through some stuff. I was still figuring it out. But he gave me this analogy that I've really never been able to shake, and I use regularly. He said, every life experience pours a little water into our bucket. Good stuff, bad stuff, combat, loss, stress, joy, all of it goes in the same bucket. If you do not deal with the water, eventually the bucket overflows, and where it overflows is your life, your marriage, your business, your bank account, your kids, your body. I was looking at the overflow in the mirror. I had just not called it yet that. That is what started pulling me back, naming it. Not as a flaw, not as a weakness, as physics. The bucket was full. I had to drain it on purpose because nobody's going to drain it for me. So I want to give you guys the actual list, not motivational bullshit, the list. 1, I upgraded my hardware. I fixed my hardware. Full blood panel, real diagnostics, treated my testosterone, checked my T3, my thyroid, my cortisol, my sleep, the TBI. The body had to come back online before anything else would. I'm the asset. I'm the thing. This thing has to be running at top speed. If this is compromised, then everything else is going to be compromised behind it. 2, I had to actually fix my relationship. I had to get honest about who I was. My old relationship was gone. There was no fixing that. But who was the man that I was going to become? What type of husband was I going to be? What kind of father was I going to be? And that's when I had to look like, if Allie is the woman that I'm going to be with for the rest of my life, like, and she is definitely worth, being the man that I was created to be, I had to get honest with her. And for the first time, I really was. For the first time in a relationship, I was truly vulnerable and open and honest with her about what I'd been going through and who I actually want to become, not who I was performing as. And that was a hard conversation. That was a very hard conversation. But I knew that there was the only way forward for me to be. If I was going to move forward, this is what it was going to take. Honesty, transparency. It was also the one that started the recovery. Number 3, I built a brotherhood on purpose with intentionality. I picked men. I made the time. I created structures that forced honest conversation, not fucking group chats, real men, real time, real stakes. And then 4, I had to build a mission again. That was actually mine. Not one that was assigned to me, not one that I inherited, mine. 3 businesses, a book, a family I'm actually present in, a faith I have wrestled with, and that I chose. So that's it. Hardware, marriage, brotherhood, mission, in that order. Because the hardware is broken, nothing else takes. If the marriage is leaking, then the rest doesn't matter. If you do not have brothers, you will lie to yourself about the marriage. And without a mission, all of it is just maintenance. And then after I did all this, I built the Agoge. Because that list above took me almost a decade to figure out. Trial and error, false starts, years I do not get back. The Agoge is the structure I wish someone had handed me at 33 years old. 4 phases: mastering yourself, leading your family, building my finances back, and then building a legacy. And now it could be 12 months of real men in real rooms with real accountability. It doesn't take a decade. It doesn't take 2 years. It doesn't take 5 years. It can take 12 months. And it's not therapy. Nothing wrong with therapy. I believe in therapy. Not all men need therapy. Not all men need a freaking mastermind. Not all men need a Facebook group or go to a Tony Robbins seminar. What most men are missing, those 4 things. And then a brotherhood with curriculum built by men who have already walked the road that you were on. If you watch this whole video or any part of it and it sounds like you, the next step is a conversation with me, with Josh, with Aaron, one of us. 20 minutes, no pressure, no sales pitch. It's not needed. Not needed anymore. It's called a fit call because that's what it is. We figure out where you are at right now and if the Agoge is the right place for you. That's it. Because it's not for everybody. It's for very specific people. So either way, you walk away on that call with more clarity than you had than walking on. That's it. Links in the description. It's free. It's private. And it's the first deliberate move you will make in a long time. The man in the mirror is fixable, but he is not going to fix himself by accident. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. Remember to like it. Remember to drop me a comment. I want to respond to it. I'm actually the one responding to the comments. And if you like this video, you're going to absolutely love this one right here.